Welcome back to Star Wars Shovelware, my name's Luke, and today on the channel we're going to be checking out Waifu Impact, a third-person shooter in which you get to play as a selection of swimsuit-wearing anime babes, and explore a barren wasteland of an island, shooting your water guns at an army of swimsuit-wearing clones whilst searching for stars. As usual though, the question with this one is, how does it play and is it worth your cash? Well, hit that like button, subscribe for more Switch reviews and content, and let's find out. So this is yet another game in which we're going to be skipping the story element altogether, as the game doesn't actually have one. And upon starting Waifu Impact, we're just presented with this wonderfully picturesque view of a sunset and prompted to just play. And so we do. Now, Waifu Impact drops you onto a mostly barren island as the first of 8 unlockable characters, and it doesn't give you any instructions on what to do, but there really isn't any need either, as your one and only objective in the game is to explore the island and collect all 25 stars. The island itself is not all that large and will only take you around a minute or two to run from end to end, but it has a few notable features, including a couple of offshore ruins and some mountain-like terrain on its far side, and the stars that you're searching for are more often than not located close by to anything which looks interesting. Now, as you move about the island, you'll encounter other waifus who are all dressed in the same kind of bikini, so essentially a waifu clone army, and getting too close to any of them will cause them to attack. Luckily, you're armed with what appears to be a water pistol, though judging by the fact that you can actually run through water, and I said run, not swim, because yeah, whatever, I like to imagine that those water guns are filled with something far more sinister, like flesh-dissolving acid or fizzy Vimtor, because after taking just a few shots, the enemy waifus will actually fall down dead and vanish into a puff of smoke. If you lose all of your health though, you'll just respawn at the most recent save point, which can be changed by walking into the pillars of light located next to sun loungers. Now, to collect some of the stars, you're required to do a spot of platforming, which in itself isn't all that challenging. But what really fucks you up here are the freeze-ups, which seem to occur every few seconds when you're close to any platforms, and this makes these jumping puzzles way more frustrating than they should have been. The vast majority of stars though can be reached without any jumping at all, and for every 5 stars you obtain you'll unlock a new waifu to play as, each of them armed with a different type of water gun, and these include things like rapid firing machine guns, a shotgun like water gun, and my personal favourite, a sniper rifle, which basically lets you kill anything in one hit from halfway across the map. It's also worth noting that you're able to unlock the waifus in any order that you like, and in addition to the playable characters, you'll also unlock the gallery profiles for each of the waifus, and killing a certain number of enemies whilst playing as them will unlock 2 additional profile pictures for you to ogle at. Now, when it comes to the playtime with this one, I'm afraid to say that the price point is clearly a reflection of the amount of content on offer, and obtaining all 25 stars should take you no longer than 30 minutes, and they're not too hard to spot thanks to them having bright yellow auras around them. What might be a prize, you ask, after collecting the final star? Well, I'll save you the time, effort and cash here, because it's nothing special really. After obtaining all 25 stars, you'll unlock the arena, which sees you facing 20 waves of waifus, with the numbers increasing every wave, and presumably completing all of these waves will unlock the 2 final waifus represented by these question marks in the gallery. But to be honest, I couldn't really be asked to find out, as there's no real challenge to this arena, and waifus just spawn and stand there, letting you pick them off with the sniper rifle. So yeah, in case you were in any doubt, Waifu Impact is a pretty shallow game. Even more so I'd say than Hentai vs Evil, because at least in that game the enemies offered a little bit of a challenge. Now, I don't know if you get to see any topless images in this one, as I've only unlocked a couple of extra pictures for 2 or 3 of the girls, but to be honest I really don't think it's worth the time or effort. Most of your time in game will be spent running across the map, struggling your way up slopes, or fighting with those fucking game freezes as you try to hop across wooden platforms. The combat in the game isn't all that fun either, and by the time I got to my 10th star or so, I'd just abandoned it altogether and decided to just run past the enemies. Overall, I'd say that Waifu Impact is a game which looks and sounds better on the eShop than it feels to play. There's some nice visual variety with the weapons and girls, but as a whole there's very little in the way of engaging gameplay, and there are far better games for the price, which also happen to offer scantily clad ladies. So graphically, I don't know if the game's name was a nod to Genshin Impact, but it does have a similar vibrancy to that game with its bright green grass and blue seas, but it does have a damn sight less detail, and like I said, the game struggles with its frame rate and some of the rocks don't actually have any collision at all. You do get some bouncy physics on the anime girls' boobs, which I suppose is good, and the girls themselves look okay, but nothing special in the way of visuals. Audio wise, again very minimal. We get a few sound effects including moans from the girls as they take a fizzy Vimto shot to the face, but that's about it. And the game's music is nothing to write home about either, being your usual upbeat adventure-like tunes. In all, average stuff here. So for the most part, when it comes to performance, the frame rate holds up pretty well on the Switch, but like I said, for some reason the game has some real issues whenever you get close to platforms, and the shit just freezes up every few seconds, which is a bit of a fucking nightmare. Issues wise, hitboxes are pretty naff, with you not even really needing to aim at the girls to shoot them, enemies are able to shoot you through rocks so you can't actually use them for cover, and in general the game just feels like it's been thrown together in an afternoon, kind of like that shitty Popeye game. Overall though, I'd say that Waifu Impact is not something that I'd advise paying for. There's very little depth to the game, it's not in the slightest bit challenging, and it gets pretty old pretty quickly. Had they included some kind of scoring system, or perhaps had your times recorded in the arena, that possibly would have given the title at least a little bit of replayability. But as it is, you've got about an hour's worth of gameplay here for your money, but not necessarily a good hour. And so for a rating, I'm going to be giving Waifu Impact 1 out of 5 stars. If you're looking for something simple to burn an hour or so on, then you might consider giving it a spin, but I advise that you expect very little from it, because very little is what the game has to offer. Oh, except of course boobs. And so that about does it for this review of Waifu Impact on the Nintendo Switch. Be sure to hit that like button if it helped you out, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the game down in the comments section below, and if you watch my content regularly but are not yet subscribed, then please consider doing so. For now though, I just want to thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.